I hope you guys are enjoying my new recent videos on a new What If. But besides, let's continue on last time. What if Misty took on the gym challenge? And now it's been a couple of years where Misty is finally reached to the proper age of 10, meaning in the few days left that Misty could officially take off her journey. The last few years she has been spending training to with a lead trainer like Erika, and thanks to her experience, it allows Misty to gotten a much more big experience with the Pokemon knowledge. But there is one problem: Misty is quite stubborn, and not to mention, she recently found out that Laura isn't even a water specialist. She's in fact a ice type specialist, which made Misty to reluctantly listen to her more. But unfortunately, Laura is a pro at this. So regardless, she has to swallow her pride a bit and do listen to her, like only a bit. And it also doesn't help that Sphere is taken to her trainer, being as quite as stubborn as her, meaning the two parties don't get along as much, but slowly but surely the two get one another and begin to be comfortable around each other. As we plan out the next day, as Misty is finishing off her last day of training with Lorelai, as she tries her best with Sphere taking on her strongest Pokemon trees. It's always one completely one-sided, as Jinx simply puts it down with a powerful ice punch, leaving Sphere to be uncautious, and Misty gets out her breath, thinking that she could have done damage to Jinx this time. Once Misty returns her Pokemon, Laura simply is praising how much he is much more approved upon, especially when she really gets in sync with the Pokemon. And surprisingly, she does become dangerous, but her biggest downfall is it's her pride as a Pokemon trainer, thinking she is a water master. And Misty, taken from her late mother, is feel pride that she is going to be one, and simply reluctantly Rogers is just pointing her to make sure that she cleans up after once she tries to do some better training. And once Laura has entered the the, the three mermaid sisters household, she begins to finally take a relaxed day, and after a hard work day of taking on challenges, and she wants to be notified on the recently, and she puts on the television and finding out that the a region that she was planning on traveling was suddenly halted by the her sister's uh, death, which means that Roy didn't took a chance to explore the Hoenn region, especially she wanted to try out expand upon her new roster with ice types. But watching the recent Owen Lee is good enough for her, as she is watching upon this rookie train that managed to defeat all of the Elite Four member, but unfortunately, the moment the strider seems to reach to the champion level, it's a huge difference, as this one champion seems to demolish the rest of his team with just one Pokemon man. And that is not just a new Pokemon, it's a water type. It's shown to be a very powerful a melodic Pokemon, and after Laura is impressed by this champion, she even one day wants to test out this trainer, but to her dismay, that her little niece is also watching, and she is quite starstruck towards the trainer and especially towards the Pokemon. She simply thinks that she finally found a soul Pokemon, and she desperately needs it. But Roy simply just scores out that there is no way Misty with her as a rookie whenever you get that type of Pokemon, especially it's a rare one. And Misty proclaimed that she will become a water master, and there's no water Pokemon that's out of her reach. But unfortunately, does get a chakra from a seal, and the two begins to argue again. And Laura is simply laugh at the sight as the two are trying to make fun of each other. But it's late into the night. But before Laura could get her some rest, that Misty quickly asked her something that is that trainer, the melodic trainer, the champion, and not to mention Lola seems to point out that it's not just a champion, but it's also a water master, and this is shocked by Misty and simply grins at this and quite excited to she needs to see this trailer in person, but unfortunately this idea is shot down by Valore because she is still on training, and this is perhaps the last year before Laura is needs to get out of the gym, so Misty needs to focus on, but unfortunately does lead Misty to be grumpy afterward. Misty did agree that she would take on the Kanto League, but unfortunately after watching the Water Master doing its work and quite admired by it, Misty being the stubborn she is wants to better him, and the best way to do that is to journey on Hoenn, the one place that Laura wanted to try out but couldn't because of other responsibility. This simply grants that this might be a good chance to drop in face and Laura Raya. So she is planning out to go on a journey much more early than usual. But before she could leave Laura and her sister, she lives a note just to notify them that Misty isn't captured or anything, but she is leaving towards Hoenn. And not only that, she does take some of the money. Besides, the three sisters weren't really good at responsibility with money. So once she gets everything, and especially towards her Pokemon, she will make her way towards the SS Sand ship and manage to get a ticket to on her way towards Hoenn. Misty is riding on the cruise ship and patiently waiting to arrive at Hoenn, but she has a lot of time on her hands for the moment, leading her to quickly think into it and quickly realize it was quite dumb of her just to go to Hoenn before she could finish her training with Laura. But unfortunately, Misty's worry about not being strong enough for the gym to be ready by the time Laura has already left. Misty would have been already be on her way in the journey, meaning that the gym might be already shut down before she could finish her journey. But likely if she has a year early of journeying out, that be enough time for her to be ready enough to take the responsibility of the gym leader. She just hoped that Laura and her sister would understand this and allow her to journey on, but she has a weird feeling that Laura might be getting her hair when she finds out the morning. But regardless, it's too late for the redhead to go back. But luckily, once the ship has finally made it to Hoenn to left the shore at the town, and this quite excites Misty a bit because this is the first time she is journeying away far to her hometown and exploring getting uncharted territory, which quite excites for her. And once she knows that there's a Pokemon Center nearby, she's quickly making sure that Sphere is good and ready and asking the nurse Joyce on where is the nearest gym is. And once the nurse Joy points out to the nearest city, that would be Petalburg City. And once Misty has her next destination, she tries her best to get towards the city. But unfortunately, there's one thing that Misty did not prepare. thinking the forest and taking a travel to it is much more long than expected. And the worst part, she didn't brought the proper items for this. She does have food for any Pokemon, but not a full on length journey through a forest because she thought that you might have gotten there already, but traveling to the forest is already taking a huge another chance. But to her, Misty, being the stubborn girl that she is, will prove that a water master can go through a forest with no problem. But unfortunately, she feels something, and this shocks Misty to her very core. Realizing there's something scratching and tickling her leg, she quickly turned and found out one thing that Misty hates everything of the whole world, a bug type, and she doesn't need a Pokédex to find out this Pokemon is very much about them. And this simply freaks out Misty because the sister used to tease her with plastic bugs, and she is quite traumatized because of that because she is naturally afraid of bugs. And this forcibly sends out Sphere to defend her trainer, and Sphere, realizing her trainer is afraid of bugs, take the opportunity to make fun of it. But Misty isn't in a time to play around, and once Sphere realized that Misty is using its stealing death glass, and it is like you need to take the situation a bit more serious. Luckily enough, using its water gun to knock out Wimple, and in fact Sphere seems to encourage Misty to capture Wimple, but Misty simply says straight up no because there is no way that she's ever going to capture a bug type, and quickly realizing knocking out the Wompo and finding out its sibling isn't too far off as Coon Pokemon simply gathers around Misty, and in a bit of a panic, and not to mention the fear factor surrounding by Bugden, as Misty quickly calls for Sphere to shut them down with powerful water gun. But unfortunately, the little water Pokemon is exerting a lot of its attack, meaning it's going to be exhausted. But luckily, Sphere does have an experience on stamina battles, and because of the Sphere managed to drive away the Circons away with powder snow here. And Messi seems to breathe a sigh of relief, thinking that it's over now. But unfortunately, a bigger thing happened, which a powerful looking dog Scott appeared, and it's clearly that it's the mother of the bug, and is quite angry that Sphere took out one of its babies. So in the fun of attacking its babies, the dog is simply shot with powerful poison stings, and unfortunately Sphere has already taken off few of the bugs, meaning it's quite exhausted, meaning the poison seems to hit it, and this seems to knock out, and Misty, realizing that she is in a very dangerous situation, there's one thing that she knows that could take the situation, quickly grabs Sphere by her arm and quickly do a runaway tactic, as Misty simply managed to outrun Darkseid because the fear factor that a bug is chasing her drives Misty's instinct to run away, and managed to hit something and quickly fell over, and quickly realized that she fell over by a weird looking Pokemon that's holding a huge lily pad over its head, and quickly realizing Darkseid is quite managed to get her, and Misty simply is just hiding the Pokemon behind it, and Lotad seems to be confused on the trainer's amusement, but Misty begs for the Pokemon to please defend it, and unexpectedly Lotad, in a very dumpy looking, seems to understand this Pokemon is endangering Misty, and to Misty's surprise, the Pokemon does seems to listen off. But unfortunately, Darkseid is a strong and powerful Pokemon, so Loden tries its best to hold it at bay. But luckily, as Misty noticed that Lopez is a water Pokemon because it is using water moves like Water Gun and Bubbles, and this leads her to actually call an attack, and this is using its bubbles to reflect Darkseid's poison sting, and lucky enough, Lothar managed to get a good one shot towards Toxic with a powerful weapon. And once the bug Pokemon seems to had enough with Misty and this Pokemon, it seems to fly up, leaving Misty bad that Pokemon. And after thanking it by giving it the berry, and saying its goodbye as Misty continues on her journey, but unfortunately Lotus simply stares at the berry and begins to eat it, but slowly looks towards Misty that she is a good distance away, but Lotus seems to begin to follow Misty. It begins to get much darker for Misty as she is using her potion to heal up feeling good and ready. But Misty noticed that was her last potion and she needs to remind herself to get more as she plans to sleep in the night and simply staring at the sky. Spirit is sleeping next to her, some sort of protection to protect its trainer, and Misty is thinking about her mother that she promised to make her mother proud. As the next day arrives, that Misty in her deep sleep is suddenly awakened by another figure sleeping next to it. It seems like Luna has been next to Misty the whole night. Simply is shocked by Misty and she explains that Lotte really likes Misty and it wants to come along on her journey. And Misty, in a very exciting, simply pulls up a Pokemon and quickly realizes this is going to be her first capture as she simply throws it gently towards it. She shakes a nod. Lotus doesn't fight back and simply allows Misty to capture it and quickly realizing that she captured her first water Pokemon with quite excitement to her face. After a few days of travel, Misty finally reached to Petalburg City and quickly is quite excited to have her first gym battle. And she quickly goes to the nearest gym, but unfortunately, it's a much more harder to find out to look around where the gym is. She is resolved to asking the locals around and pointing at, but to her to say it's just a school, but they point out the gym is actually a teacher that's actually teaching the students to be trainers, and this shocks Miss a bit because back where she was, they don't really had education back then. She recently just heard her Kanto is just getting education a few months ago, and this school is quite surprised to her. So Missy also decided not only she's going to win her battle, but she also just going to look around because she never had experience on having a school before. So she quickly goes to the school here and quickly realizes a bunch of students hurting around one person, and Misty has to go through and finding out it's a girl with an interesting dress choice and seems to be elegant getting figure. And the gym leader seems to notice Misty and points out that she can see a challenger by seeing one. And Misty confirmed that she is a new. Yes, my name is Misty, and I came from all the way from Kanto to challenge the leader. And Roxanne seemed to be surprised that she also said her name is Roxanne, and she is the proud deputy gym city as a rock specialist. And this gets an audible laugh from Missy, and Roxanne seems to question what's the matter. Missy says nothing, it's just that normally the rock types at her region seems to be the weakest, and this actually gets a very angry glance on Roxanne. Oh, is that so? I might be the lowest rank here, but I'm gonna teach you that rock Pokemon are just as strong as the other Pokemon. And Missy simply talks something on about yeah, right. But anyways, let's back right away. And this gets Roxanne to be motivated to put this rookie down her place. Once Roxanne and Misty are ready to be in the battle, but before Misty is too excited to bring up Roxanne setting up some sort of a camera recording. And Misty questions this, and Roxanne, as they're just going after the battle, she's going to use this experience to showcase her student on what to do. Hey, and just in case you lose that, you might need to learn your mistakes. And this gets Messi to get red from this, and begins to be angered by this, that she doesn't going to need it because she's going to win anyway. And all the students around in school seems to watch on Roxanne's battle because they want to sit first, and this seems to get Roxanne to grin a bit. Then shall we begin, as the referee commands both trains to get ready because it's going to be a two battle. Since Roxanne is the gym leader, she will bring out her first Pokemon. And Roxanne simply sending out her rock Pokemon to Bell and Iron. And this is quite shocking from Misty, and because she has never seen this type of Pokemon before, but regardless, she's confident it's a rock type regardless, and a Sphere should take out this Pokemon with no easy, as Misty sends out Sphere to battle. And once the battle begins, Misty energetically calls for a water gun, thinking that this might do the job done. But unfortunately, once Sphere managed to launch the water move towards Iron, it simply isn't affecting as Iron as much, and Misty is shocked by this, thinking that Roxanne must have cheated or something. But Roxanne points out that Iron isn't that weak against water attacks because Iron and Roxanne has been training on its defenses on weaknesses, and because of that, it allows for Sia to be surprised by that. And this is where Misty lands her first mistake, thinking a move could knock out a Pokemon in one hit, leaving Iron to get up close and unleashing a Protector Claw. And since Sphere is an ice typing, it's unable to dodge out of the way and taking serious damage from it. And this is forcing Misty to really think what to do. So thinking that she might have to slow this rock type Pokemon down with a powerful snow powder, as Sphere seems to shut down a powerful snow effect, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be much effect against Iron. And Roxanne points out ice types won't do any effect against a steel type like Iron. And for once, Misty is quite surprising that this Iron is not just rock type, it's also a steel type. And Roxanne seems to notice, oh, I thought a water master would have a better knowledge on a Pokemon typing, meaning this is your first time seeing one, isn't it? And Misty seems to say no. Of course, I met steel types before, but strictly steel types where she comes from in Canada aren't really common, so she has no idea what to do against a steel typing. So she's just calling the caution of the wind and commanding for a powerful water gun. And this time, however, Iron seems to dodge away and then use a metal claw for a second time, but all of a sudden Iron seems to cover in with glow, meaning its defense has grown thanks to metal claw. And Misty again is quite confused on that, and Roxanne is simply laughing a bit. Well, you have no idea any of the stats boost you. And Misty shouts out that of course she knows boosted moves, and this makes Misty quite angry to the point where she is just throwing moves after moves, just thinking that it might get lucky enough because of this. As Faye even noticed and questioning Misty because this isn't what Laura has teach her, but unfortunately Misty is a bit too angry to think about anything else and just calls for Sphere to attack with a powerful body slam. But as Sphere tries its best to listen to its but unfortunately its body slam isn't good enough because Iron can simply resist the move and unleash a powerful rock throw. And unfortunately the rock throw is enough to take out Sphere here, leaving Misty quite devastated and returning Sphere here looking down and thinking something, this was supposed to be easy, what's going on? And the referee is pointing out she has her last Pokemon to throw up, and Misty just realized that she does have one more Pokemon. She thought that she didn't need Lotad, but apparently she does, as she sends out Lotad to battle. But unfortunately, this goes much more worse for her, because this is literally the first time Lotad and Misty are battling together. Therefore, that the battle, their instincts are weirdly up. Because of that, this caused them for Lothair to attack unconventionally and got confused on what Missy is trying to do, and Roxanne noticed and took the advantage from this and command for Lion to take the opportunity with a powerful Metal Claw. And unfortunately, Lothair, it does have the water advantage, but unfortunately its second typing that Missy is completely unaware of is trying its using Absorb here, but unfortunately Aaron resists the attack neutrally and returns it with a powerful Rock Throw. And the second Pokemon that Misty has caught the first time has been knocked out, leaving Missy to be devastated. And this gets Roxanne to talk. Missy, was it? You must be quite new to all this. Don't worry. Most trainers don't win the first time. Don't sweat it out. Come back when you are much stronger. But unfortunately, Missy does listen. But unfortunately, Missy just simply grabs Lota under her arm and just walk out of the gym, leaving Roxanne to be a bit worried. And that's where we're gonna end the episode.